Hogwarts Legacy was such a highly anticipated game in 2023, so much hype was built around this game, and in a lot of regards, it did deliver. However, 2023 was such a big year for gaming, Hogwarts Legacy just kind of faded into the background. It didn't get any nominations at the Game Awards and various other award shows for gaming, so why is that? Well, there are a few reasons as well as some recent news that might point to what happened to Hogwarts Legacy. Let's get into it. Now, there's no denying that Hogwarts Legacy is quite a large game. The main story takes quite a few hours to complete, and there are various other things to do in the open world. However, once you complete all that, what's there left to do? Start a new game? Maybe, but there's not really any change in the different houses, and the story doesn't really have that many choices to make where there will be different storylines to go down. And given that Hogwarts Legacy released so early in the year in February, what Avalanche could have done to keep building the hype of this game and perhaps even have wanted some awards is do some updates. Do some DLC. It's been almost a year since the game came out and there's nothing new. And I know that might be a weird thing to say, but fans are calling out for various different things that they want in the game. Simple things like weather changes, season changes, making the game a bit more lively, especially in the school where really it feels like you're the only active member, especially at night. But we haven't got any of that. There have been no updates in terms of adding more to the game, and there's been no DLC. Sure, you can count the Hogsmeade shop quest, but that was a PlayStation exclusive. It takes maybe an hour to complete, and as good as that quest line is, it's not anything to keep the game alive. Avalanche really needed to push updates or push a DLC or something into this game to reinvigorate the life in it. And they just haven't done that. Social media is almost a mockery of the wants of fans. They constantly post stuff on Instagram, but it's usually, hey, have you done this in the game? Have you done that in the game? And all the comments are just, where's all these updates that we've been asking for? And there's just no reply to any of them.
That's really not funny.
Which is weird, right? Because I thought the Hogwarts Legacy social media team and sort of their creator and dev relationship was quite good. Like when the game was coming out, they were interacting with fans, they were interacting with creators, and then they just kind of stopped once the game was out. It feels like the devs kind of forgot about the game and just went, that's done, move on.
Come on, move on, move on, move on.
Which is sad because the relationship between gamers and devs is a lot better when there's interaction. Especially with a game that so many people wanted like this, and so many people have found comfort in this game. For the devs to just kind of not have any interaction with that community really anymore is really sad. Like they did the streams and stuff when the game was releasing. Why didn't they keep that up? Why didn't they find some kind of other events to do with the fans? Another reason the game kind of just died off was the story wasn't memorable. It really wasn't. It was a very mid-tier level story. The only quest lines I really remember the story for are the quest with Sebastian and maybe the Hogsmeade shop. That's about it. Every other quest kind of just felt which sucks because the gameplay is actually good. It just didn't have anything to back it up, like the story or the various different quest lines that were actually decent. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this game. It made it in my top 10 list of last year. This game is very good. It's just there are things that need to make it better that just aren't there, and it's frustrating. But despite all this, the game actually did really well last year. It sold over 22 million copies just last year. And the game is a great foundation for what future Harry Potter games could be like, especially if we do get a DLC or a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. And speaking of more Harry Potter games, Warner Brothers have actually hinted at doing more. Obviously, we've got the Quidditch Champions games, which is kind of in that weird sort of playtest era right now. Not a whole lot has been said about the game. Nothing's been shown or anything really. We just know it's coming. But in a recent interview, Warner Brothers did hint at more Harry Potter games and sort of building that relationship with the community in terms of not just doing TV shows and movies. Obviously, we've got the new Harry Potter TV show remake thing coming, but apparently Warner Brothers understand that gaming is a huge pillar in the terms of their community, and they want to emphasize that with more games and perhaps even more to do with Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously, a sequel is highly anticipated. Speculations it could be announced this year, but I highly doubt that. If we do get a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy, it will be next year or the year after that it will be announced. Honestly, I'm not expecting anything soon, and I kind of don't want anything soon. I want them to work on the game more if they are making a sequel. Obviously, I want more updates for the current one, but if we're not going to get that as the last year has kind of shown us, then maybe working on a sequel is the way to go. And I did mention Quidditch Champions, and it looks like it is getting more info this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a release date this year. Obviously, Quidditch was a huge ask for Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't really understand why people were asking for it. I understood why the devs didn't do Quidditch. That's one of the few things that I understand the devs not putting in the game, even though fans were pushing for it. I totally get it. But we will be getting Quidditch in the form of this multiplayer Quidditch Champions game. And like I said, wouldn't be surprised if it does even get released this year, let alone a release date gets put out this year. So yeah, that's kind of it for Hogwarts Legacy. There's not really a whole lot to go on. There's no updates, no DLC, and the game kind of just faded into the background.
No, God!
Even though it is a really nice game, and I'm thankful that it got released, it sucks to see it just kind of fade into nothingness. I feel like it needed more love from the devs. It got enough love from the community. There was enough push for more Hogwarts Legacy content, and we just didn't get it. And I really don't understand why. It feels like such an easy game to do an expansion for, to do DLC for, to do even free updates for. That's the minimum. The minimum they could do is like just free updates. Here's a animal. Who cares? Just give us something, and they haven't done that, and there's been no interaction, there's been no word really from the studio on what the hell's going on with this thing, and that's why it kind of just faded into nothingness. It didn't really have a splash when it landed. It just kind of landed, and then that was it. Especially when you look at the other games that came out last year, like Baldur's Gate, like Alan Wake 2. You obviously had great interaction with the devs and the community between Larian Studio and the community of Baldur's Gate 3.
What are you all sitting around for? We're not done yet. For f***'s sake.
And Alan Wake 2 seems to have actually interacted with its community, especially when it comes to the musical, which kind of blew up online. That features in the game. And that game is just like this weird cult classic masterpiece that it really doesn't need anything more. It is a contained thing, whereas a game like Hogwarts Legacy feels like it needs more. It feels like it's missing something. It's missing a spark of magic, and that's a real shame. And even though I'm saying all these things that I want more, I want this, I want that, it's because I love this game. It is good. It is very good, and I still highly recommend it. It did something that no other Harry Potter game has been able to do, which is create your own journey as a wizard at Hogwarts, to really flesh out Hogwarts and the world beyond. And I think that is truly magical. And it definitely just got kind of sideswiped because of the big year that 2023 was for gaming. That's most of the reason this kind of just faded away. It's not because it didn't get any updates or no DLC. It's just because it was stacked up against the elite, like generational games came out last year. And even though Hogwarts Legacy is very, very good, it's not that, but it is wonderful. So what do you guys think of Hogwarts Legacy? It's almost been out a year now. Do you think we need more DLC? Do you think we need free updates? Or should they just push for a sequel and just kind of let us know what the hell's going on? Because it is a beloved game in that community. Let me know down in the comments, and thank you so much for watching this. I have more Hogwarts Legacy videos if you want to go check those out from when the game released, and there's more content on this channel, of course, that you can click on right here. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you guys next time.